you face new challenges in each region of a Snowrunner. So here is one helpful tip for every DLC region. First, we have Kola Peninsula. In Kola, we have this big frozen lake that you can easily drive on it. But parts of this lake have thinner and weaker ice. And usually when you drive on those areas, the ice breaks and you get stuck. Now here is the thing that prevents you from getting stuck when you wanna cross those parts. Now whenever you wanna cross those parts of the lake, bring two trucks and attach them to each other with your winch. Now when you're trying to cross those parts of the lake, the truck at the front would get stuck in broken ice, but the truck at the back would push it out of the broken ice. Now the truck at the back is stuck, but the truck at the front would pull it out of the broken ice. So in this case, you wouldn't get stuck. And another thing that you can always do in this area is to have a truck somewhere on this frozen lake. So whenever you got stuck, you can quickly use the help of that truck. Now for Yukon. In Yukon, we have these three contracts: conveyor belt section 1, 2 and 3. Here's the thing. Don't complete these contracts until you have completed all the other contracts in this region. Just simply leave them for last. The thing is, by completing those contracts, you will block some of the shortcuts in the map. So you no longer can use those shortcuts to go around the map faster. And overall, we have so many shortcuts in Yukon, so always look for the gaps between the trees. You can find some good shortcuts. In Wisconsin, at the left of the garage, there is a river, and you have to cross this river a lot actually. But for crossing this river, you have to go through some really deep mud, and some of the trucks actually struggle a bit going through this area. And each time you cross this river, you kinda ruin the mud, so it gets harder and harder to cross this river. So the best thing to do is go a bit down at this spot and then cross the river from here. It's way easier, it's way faster, most of the trucks can do it, and there is a winch point in front of you that can always help you. Now Amur. For Amur, I'm gonna show you one of the best ways to start this region. So in the first map, we have this task called Warehouse Trouble. When you complete this task, you open a warehouse that has 10 metal beams plus some other cargo. But the most important one is the metal beams. Use those metal beams to build the 3 bridges in the first map, and then use 2 more of it to open up the tunnel to the Cosmodrome map. In Cosmodrome, you have access to unlimited metal beams, and you can unlock Zig 605R, which is a fantastic truck. You should do it very early in that region. Starting a more like this makes everything easier for you. Now in Dawn, there is a very simple tip that I want to share it with you. In the first map in Dawn, we have this railroad. Now, whenever you wanted to go to that train station or you wanted to go to that tunnel, it's better to take this railroad instead of any other roads in this map. Driving on this railroad is way easier than driving on any other road that goes to that tunnel or goes to the train station. Part of this railroad is broken, but you can simply go around it. But the good thing is there is a contract that allows you to fix that part of the railroad. So now for Maine. The tip I want to share with you for this region takes a bit longer to explain. So in Maine, we have this road that is blocked by rocks, and we have to clear out this road. But the thing is, unlike other roadblocks in a Snowrunner, where the task is at both sides of the blockage, in this one, you don't see the task when you get close to this roadblock. Now first, how to get to the task for removing these rocks. How I like to get to that task is I get out of the garage and then I go right, and then another right until I get to this camp kinda area with the caravans. And be careful, the path is very bumpy and everything, so don't tip over. At there I find the gaps between the trees and then I go up the hill. It kinda looks a bit absurd, but you can actually get up this hill very easily. Just find the gaps between the trees and you can easily get up there. And once you're up there, you can go for the watchtower if you want to. But for the task, follow the road until you see the task for that blockage. One thing I wanna mention is KRS Bandit is a good truck for this task. Now, after you activate the task, you see that you have to deliver the wooden planks to this spot too. But going around the whole map again takes some time. So go use a truck that has a crane and pick up the wooden planks that you need. And then get to the blockage, unpack your wooden planks, use your crane to put the wooden planks on the rocks, and then use the crane of KRS Bandit, pick the cargo up and go and deliver them. You need 4 wooden planks to complete this task, and in this way you don't need to drive across the map again and again. Quick tip for Tennessee, this road is blocked by rocks again, but in Tennessee you don't actually even need to clear out these rocks. You can simply just go around this blockage. Just back up a bit, go to this good man's property and go around the blockage. Easy as that. Now glades. I think it's a very good tip. Here is the tip for glades. At some point you have to craft cabins for some of the contracts. You get to the location for crafting cabins and then you see you need cargo containers. You look at the map, you check out the other maps in this region, and then you're like, where are the cargo containers? Well, I show you the easiest way to get cargo containers in that map in Glades. There is this contest behind your garage in the Heartlands map. If you start that contest, you don't need to finish it or anything. But if you started, a cargo container would spawn on the map near the location that you need to craft cabins. This is where the cargo container would spawn, and doesn't matter if you fail at this contest, the cargo container wouldn't despawn. So whenever you needed cargo containers, just start this contest, grab the cargo container and deliver it to that warehouse. In Ontario, the most important thing is fuel. So my tip for you is have trucks with the fuel carrier add-on or the fuel carrier trailer around the map at locations that you feel like you could use some fuel. For example, this is a good spot for having some fuel. And another thing is, in this region we have scout fuel carriers and fuel carrier trailers around the map. So whenever you see one of those, make sure you bring them to some locations that could help you a lot. Now British Columbia. In British Columbia we have these 2 massive trailers that we have to go up a mountain to deliver them. Now when you look at the map, you see that we have 2 roads that goes up this mountain to the location that we need to deliver these trailers. Now let me tell you, going up those roads, pulling those heavy massive trailers is painful. It's extremely hard to go up those roads when you're pulling those big trailers. Now, what should you do? Instead of taking those 2 roads, you should take this swamp road. It might look like this road is harder, but actually this is way easier than the other 2 roads. For this one you have to go through a swamp, which is not even that difficult. But the good thing is, even if you get stuck, there are plenty of good winch points that you can use. But when you're going up those 2 roads, sometimes you can't even find a good winch point. Now, if you want to deliver those big trailers, make sure you take this swamp road. Alright, now the last region, Scandinavia. In Scandinavia, we have 4 watchtowers that you need to build. 2 of them are in the first map and 2 of them are in the second map. Now, here's the thing. In Scandinavia, since the beginning, you have to travel between the 2 maps a lot. So it's a very good idea to just before doing all the other contracts, you build the watchtowers in both maps. In this case, in both maps, you know where you're going and you can complete the contracts easier and faster. And that's it for today's video. I see you in the next one.